Hello everyone and welcome into today's Jacksonville Jaguars rebuild episode here on Huddle Breakdown. In today's episode we will conclude season number 1 by looking at the playoff run by the teams left in the playoffs, of course. We'll look at retirees, free agency, draft, all that good stuff here in the offseason. We will start in Wild Card Weekend where the New England Patriots, the 4 seed at 9-7, get a 35-29 win on top of the Cincinnati Bengals. 23-point fourth quarter comeback for the Patriots. That's their 12th postseason appearance in a row. They get the 35-29 win to advance to next week. In Las Vegas, where the Raiders get blown out in their first game in Las Vegas, 35-10. Big Ben throws for 3 touchdowns and gets the Steelers into the divisional round. The final AFC wildcard matchup, the Houston Texans get the 35-28 win on top of the Colts. The AFC South rematch ends in what might be Phillip Rivers' last game in the National Football League. In the NFC, the Dallas Cowboys get a big win. The 8-8 Dallas Cowboys get their revenge on the Falcons for the Week 2 loss, 31-7. In Seattle, the 3-seeded Seahawks will go down to the 6-seeded Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 41-35, as Tom Brady gets his first win in the NFC in overtime on a touchdown drive orchestrated by himself. And in the final Super Wild Card Weekend, the Minnesota Vikings trample the Los Angeles Rams 33-14. First time with the number 7 seeds in the National Football League, and both of them are done after round 1. We move to the divisional round where the 1-seeded Browns destroy the 6-seeded Steelers 45-6. The Browns get their first playoff win since 1994. Bill Belichick was the head coach of that team. A good one in Houston, but the Texans fall 24-22 to the Patriots. The Patriots outscore the Texans 17-9 in the fourth quarter, and the Patriots are able to advance into the championship game against the Browns. For the NFC, the number 1 seeded Saints fall 24-17 in a Brady and Breeze playoff game. And is this the end of Drew Brees' career? Only time will tell. In the final game in the divisional round, the Dallas Cowboys, the 4 seed at 8-8, take down the Minnesota Vikings 23-11. They get now 31 career playoff losses for the Minnesota Vikings, most of all time, and the Cowboys move on to the championship game. In the AFC Championship game, the Browns fall, the Patriots win 28-21. Now 12-4 in the conference championship game are the Patriots. They make it to their 12th Super Bowl appearance. Last win was, of course, against the Rams in 2018. The Browns still chasing their first Super Bowl appearance after having the best regular season record in the NFL. On the NFC side, Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers fall to the 4-seeded Cowboys, the 8-8 Cowboys, 35-30. Mike McCarthy gets back in the Super Bowl in his first year with Dallas. Dallas makes their first Super Bowl appearance since 1995. That was, of course, the last time they won against the Steelers. Brady misses out on his 10th Super Bowl appearance and misses out on a home Super Bowl game. And in Super Bowl 55, the Dallas Cowboys get the 35-17 win on top of the Patriots. The first ever 8-8 team to win a Super Bowl. That's now 6 Super Bowl wins all time for the Dallas Cowboys. That ties the Steelers and, of course, the Patriots for the most Super Bowl wins. Dak Prescott gets Super Bowl MVP, and the Patriots fall to 6-6 all time in the Super Bowl. Really crazy either of those teams made it to the playoffs, let alone the Super Bowl. Big congratulations to the Dallas Cowboys for being the first team ever to go 8-8 and win the Super Bowl. Here looking at the awards, Matt Ryan, the league MVP, Coach of the Year goes to Kevin Stefanski. Looking on the AFC side, Patrick Mahomes, of course, wins. quarterback, best quarterback. Couple Steelers here, running back and wide receiver, Connor and Smith-Schuster. Defensive line, of course, will go to J.J. Watt. Patrick Queen had a good enough season to win best rookie on the defense, as well as best linebacker. And there you saw Josh Lambo, the only Jacksonville Jaguar to get an award this season. On the NFC side, some of the same names you would expect. Obviously, Matt Ryan, Aaron Donald, all the good players from the NFC. But I believe we have some breaking news. Let's go to it now.
The Jacksonville Jaguars have found their new head coach. Eric Bieniemy has signed a 3-year deal with the team. Bieniemy comes over from Kansas City, where Andy Reid first hired him as the running back coach in 2013. He of course brings Super Bowl experience, as he won Super Bowl 54 with the Chiefs as their offensive coordinator. Bieniemy becomes the 8th head coach in Jaguars franchise history, and already the 3rd in this series. Eric Bieniemy joins a long list of former Andy Reid assistants to become a head coach in the National Football League.
Thank you to Jacob, again, at the Huddle Breakdown news desk for that. We'll have the retirees in the background as we kind of talk about it. I'm very excited to bring Eric Bieniemy in as the head coach in Jacksonville. I think offensively he is what this team needs. Obviously a ton of experience in Kansas City, and I'm just very excited to give him his first head coaching experience in Jacksonville. Now we'll pick it up with these retirees. There you see Larry Fitzgerald, a big one, retiring from Arizona. We figured that would happen at some point. Adrian Peterson also retired, but the Jags really aren't an old team, so didn't really have to worry that much about retirement. Interesting, though, Pete Carroll retires, Jay Gruden retires, and Andy Reid retires from Kansas City. So Eric Bieniemy chose Jacksonville over Kansas City. We'll take a look now at some re-signings. Trent Sherfield, who played some solid snaps for us. There you see his ratings. He did regress a little bit, and there's not a ton of people here that I would like to re-sign. Perry Nickerson is, of course, one of those I would like to re-sign, though. Here, we will get right into the contract making. We're going to try to offer him a 3-year deal to keep him on this team. We will increase the salary and signing bonus. Obviously, transitioning him from cornerback to running back seemed like a good fit down the stretch, and we will make an offer with Perry Nickerson. We'll now look at Trace McSorley, the backup quarterback, who is just a 55 overall. I would like to keep him on the team. Not necessarily thinking he is going to be a starter, but just to keep him on the team as depth, and he will also stay on the team. Some other players, Chris Thompson, looking at the franchise tag for him as the offers throughout the season fell apart. We will not franchise tag him or David Wells. And looking at the rest of the potential signees, the players for this team, there's not a lot here I want, and I think we could go for a depth overall here in Jacksonville. We'll now move to signing other teams' free agents, and we will see we have about $72 million in cap space, and already some big names. Alvin Kamara, who I don't think we're going to sign. Richard Sherman caught my eye early. Kareem Hunt, another running back. Joe Tooney, who I actually like a lot at left guard. Alex Mack at center could be interesting, but we'll go position by position here. There's not really a strong upgrade at quarterback for this team. I think Josh Rosen is a good quarterback and could have good depth. He wanted a 4-year contract. I'd rather get him on a cheap 1-year deal. So that is what we are going to try and offer him. It's going to be in the red, I believe, but we will see if he signs. Looking at running backs, we have James Robinson, Raquel Armstead. There's some interesting players, but I'm looking more at Jamal Williams, who is a power back, but has great speed. And that Week 10 game against Green Bay, it really showcased Jamal Williams' abilities here in Madden. Obviously, he's great in real life, too. And I really think he could be a nice free agent acquisition for him if we got him. There you see powering over tackles. Here is another great play, running through the middle of the field, breaking some tackles. This one, I thought he was going to take it to the house, but he kind of stutter steps weird, the Madden logic there. Another great run by Jamal Williams off the right side. So after this game, and when I saw he was going to be a free agent, obviously, of course, the Packers re-signed Aaron Jones, I was really thinking maybe Jamal Williams is a good fit for us at running back. So we will offer him a 3-year deal, and he is in the green on that. Looking at fullbacks, we could re-sign David Wells, but I decided to go for a little bit of an upgrade. Alex Arma, who is 27 years old. It's his 4th year in the league. We will offer him a 3-year deal, see if he accepts. Wide receiver now, looking at this class. Not a big upgrade again from our positions. There's not a lot of upgrades in this free agency class for what this team needs. Right now, we will skip on wide receiver, but go to tight end, and I like Gerald Everett a lot. Great catching, great speed. But that contract is a little too steep for me, so we're going to try to take it down a little bit. I'm going to try to lowball him and see if he's interested at all. He is not, but we'll leave it there. We'll now go to guard Joe Thuney. Now, he is a guy that I would love to sign, and we keep cranking up his deal here. 97-point bid, but you see we're in a close race with Carolina. We'll have to keep a look on that. Obviously, we do have Andrew Norwell at left guard, but this signing could be a move to make him our right guard or move him on that offensive line. We'll come back to that later. Looking at linebackers now. Again, not a big upgrade here. Middle linebacker, just going through the class, don't see much. Outside linebacker, Demario Davis does catch my eye here. I like his abilities here. We could move him to the left side, left outside linebacker. But he is 32, 9-year vet. We may come back to him later. Looking at cornerback, I'd like to get a secondary cornerback opposite of C.J. Henderson, and right now the best option is Richard Sherman, and I actually like that a lot. We are going to offer him the $14 million 1-year deal, and we will look at our negotiations here after the first free agency period, as we will boost Richard Sherman just a little bit to get him up to $15 million in one season. Joe Thuney is a guy we'd really like to sign. Gerald Everett, who knows if we will get him with that cheap deal. Jamal Williams, obviously we like. Alex Arma and Josh Rosen for backup. But before this first period is over, we are going to go back to Demario Davis. Look at his contract here. We are going to not offer him a contract. We will advance to free agency week 2 and see Richard Sherman accepts, but Joe Thuney declines our offer. We will see who he goes to in a minute. There you see he has rejected our offer. Luckily, we do get Richard Sherman. Looking at the top signings, Alvin Kamara goes to Washington, and Joe Thuney, the Carolina Panthers, who I still believe we had a higher bid than, come in at the end late and are able to sign him to their team. So now that offensive line that I thought was going to get a big upgrade isn't. And there you saw Gerald Everett. We are losing big in his, and I'm not really looking to increase that contract, so we will just remove our contract there. Looking at the offensive line now, and Alex Mack is really the best left along the line. Obviously, we have a good center, but this is another situation where we could move Mack either to the right side, or that's probably where we would move him, to right guard. We will try to offer him a contract. Obviously, I don't want him to get stolen from underneath our hands again. I'd rather it not be a 1-year deal, but he is 35, so I am okay with it for one season. We are going to be 2 points ahead here of Miami. We'll see if that is enough to sign him. Looking now for some depth along the defensive line. Taco Charlton, the former Cowboy, catches my eye here. 26-year-old. I think he could still get a little bit of upgrades in him. We will give him a very low ball deal. Maybe come back to that later. We did, however, come back to Demario Davis, and this time we may give him an offer. Here is a 3-year, $19 million deal. That is way in the dirt. No good for him. We will just pull that offer. Looking at our offers now, Jamal Williams, who I got a little antsy with losing Joe Tooney. I decided to up his contract a bit, get him all the way up to 79 points in coming to Jacksonville. As we see there, we'll look at the draft class now, and here is Archer Doherty, who I like a lot at quarterback. Honestly, the plan was not to go quarterback with our first pick, but as the season went on, it's looking more and more like that may be the pick. We're also looking at defensive line, not much there. For the Chargers, they have the first overall pick, and they obviously have Justin Herbert, so maybe they won't take the quarterback, Archer Doherty. We'll see what happens there. You see Williams and Charlton accepts, but Alex Mack declines. So that's 2 offensive linemen above 85 overall who we go big for and cannot re-sign. Here is a 5th-year option that we will not pick up. Brian's option at defensive tackle. I think we are going to draft a defensive tackle in this class. There you see Alex Mack gets taken by the Seahawks. So again, once again, we are looking for an offensive lineman. And I look first at Mike Pouncey. But he is also getting up there in age, and his stats are decreasing rapidly. So I turn to left guard Kelechi Osemele, who his run blocking isn't where I'd like it to be, but at least for a year patch on that offensive line, we are going to give him a 93-point bid. But guess what? We are back to Demario Davis again, trying to get a contract with him. This one will only be a 40-point bid. We may come back to him again. We'll see. Here at punter, don't really need an upgrade, but I will offer Matt Hack a deal. We will see if any of those go through. I am very excited, though, that we did get Jamal Williams. Kelechi Osemele will sign with us, so a little bit of free room along the offensive line. We can put him wherever we need to. And there you saw Josh Rosen and Alex Arma sign with us. So here is a look at this team here at this stage in free agency. And we're solid along the offensive line. Still not great. Didn't get a huge boost overall. Not the big signing that I would have loved. Defensively, we do get a little better with the signing of Richard Sherman. The middle of the defense is still a weakness for us. I would still like to target a defensive tackle early on. Here, looking at the start of the beginning of this class, the top tier players in this class, and there are some good players. We'll see what we do in the draft later in this episode. Here is our signings to this point in free agency. Obviously, the biggest being Richard Sherman. Here is the league signings, and Washington, the Washington football team, goes heavy in signing players and trying to turn that organization around. You see the Giants also get a couple signings. There, another Washington football signing, Alejandro Villanueva, goes to them. None of those quarterbacks have gotten signed so far. Here you see Phillip Rivers, Trubisky, Dalton, Fitzpatrick, all still available. We will go to the draft, and the first overall pick will go to Darren Lawton from Tennessee, the defensive tackle, who I liked a lot. But with the second overall pick here, we are going to look obviously at everyone available, but I think there is one person in my mind that is going to be taken here by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Looking at the class, obviously some great talent, but I just go back to Archer Doherty. We will see if we decide to draft him here, but this is what makes me want to draft him. These throws by Gardner Minshew, which were not a rare occurrence. They happened 2 or 3 times a game. They were wildly inaccurate, out in front. Some led to interceptions. Just bad play by Gardner Minshew. Obviously, he fumbled a lot, and he has good stats in terms of passing, which makes me a little confused why he struggles so much. And it just seems like it's something it cannot be corrected. That was a terrible throw there. I mean, all these are, obviously. So these throws are in my mind as I'm thinking, what do we do here with the second overall pick? And it becomes pretty clear. Archer Doherty, who has 4.41 speed. He leads in the combine in almost everything. He has great throw power, great throw on the run, great break sack ability. He may not be the greatest pure passer to start with, but we will take him second overall. It says we reached, but I don't think you really reach if you get your franchise quarterback. This class at quarterback was not great. I think Archer Doherty actually is the only one that has a chance to be a stud for this class. We will take a pause for a quick second from the Jags franchise and announce an exciting new series here on the channel. NCAA 12 will be coming to the channel in a Flynn Doherty coaching carousel series. Flynn Doherty is the father of Jacksonville Jaguars' new draft quarterback, Archer Doherty. We will follow his experience as he goes through the ranks of college football coaching, starting as an offensive coordinator in San Jose State. Some players from the Flynn Doherty Coaching Carousel series will transition over to the Jacksonville Jaguars Rebuild series. This will mark the end, however, of the Across the NFL segment here on the channel. We will no longer be doing those episodes, rather putting what we would do in those episodes just at the end of Jags game episodes. We are very excited to bring this new series to the channel, and let's get back into the Jags draft. Colum Crockett, the left tackle, who we also looked at, goes, and Ben McCord, who the Washington football team keeps getting better and better. We will see how they do this season. Going through, we'll just kind of look at the first draft here, or the first round of the draft here. And looking at our pick, I'm looking at Matt Drummond. Now, I don't know if he is going to be alive for us when we pick. We pick at 19. There goes Zaire Childs, who looks to be a good wide receiver. I don't know if he'll be available at pick 19. We're just kind of crossing our fingers. I really don't want to trade up. And there he goes to Denver. Matt Drummond, who I think Denver got a great defensive tackle. But fortunately for us, there are still some really good tackles in this class. The Eagles, leave it to the Eagles to draft a 68 overall cornerback, as we are just now a few picks away, and the Chiefs get another wide receiver like they need it. The Panthers will go wide receiver, and we are now on the board. Looking at our class and who is available for us, obviously I don't think we're going to go quarterback here. We could go running back, Bernie Watts, who I like a lot, but we did just sign Jamal Williams. I don't think running back is the biggest position of need for us. Why we could go back to running back later in the draft is guys like Austin Mackey, who is clearly a first-round talent, projected late in the draft, I believe in the 4th round. So we're actually looking now at Darrell Benson, the defensive tackle. He's a 2nd-round projected talent, but I think we may pull the trigger on him here. He is a late 1 talent. We will acquire Darrell Benson here in the draft, and he has hidden development, the first hidden development drafted player here in the franchise. It comes with our 2nd pick in the 1st round. We'll finish off the 1st round here, move to the 2nd, as you did see Clayton Reese goes, the tight end. Here now moving along, Von Montgomery, now into the 2nd round with the Jaguars. And looking at our draft picks left, looking at who we have drafted, looking at what we need to draft, and Austin Mackey is still in the mind here. He is a great talent, 4th round pick. The question is he going to last that long? Another talent here, Tyreek Timms, who I like a lot. His speed's a little slower than I would love. We could go tackle with John Burton. There's a lot of people here, obviously, early in the second round, you're going to get good talents. But I just keep going back to Austin Mackey. Those first three, A+, A-, with pretty good speed at a power back. We will make the pick, and he is actually 8th ranked player in the class. And he will start behind Jamal Williams, but we'll see. Maybe he could take over that position full time. We advance now, trying to get to our second pick. There you see Bernie Watts does get off the board, but I think we got the better running back. Here is our rather fourth pick in the draft in the third round. And we're looking at cornerback here. Antonio Bolden, who I think has some good attributes. I would love his pass coverage to be a little better. Darrell Tyson at wide receiver. I think we could go wide receiver here. But DJ Chark and Laviska Shenault, I'm just not sure how much these guys are going to be a big upgrade over those two with DJ Chark still on the team. Looking at it, also Ricky Carr is another one of those Austin Mackey type players who is projected to go later in the draft, who I think we could get later, but we are going to take him here so he doesn't fall. I think he is the best wide receiver at this position. We will draft him. He's 69 overall. Needs help in his medium to deep route running, but other than that, he's a pretty good wide receiver for us. Now check this stretch of quarterbacks. There goes one. There goes the second to Washington. There goes the third to the Dolphins. These are all the first-time quarterbacks have gone since Doherty's pick. That's the fifth. Now, is there going to be one more? What do you think? There is not. The Jets will take a tight end, but 5 quarterbacks go in a row. Crazy there by the draft, making their run on quarterbacks. We will go back to wide receiver, and looking at the class overall, not a lot we scouted. I could have done a better job scouting the class in its entirety, but there's so many weak spots on this team that it was kind of tough to focus on just one or two positions. So there you see a good defensive tackle still on the board. Antonio Bolden is still on the board, but we did get Richard Sherman. Cornerback doesn't seem to be as big of a need for us. So we'll go back to defensive tackle. Dante Foster, who I like his attributes a lot, will be another good pick for us. He's ranked 30 in true value. We got him in the 4th round, and we will pick it up again here with pick number 19 here in the 4th round. Scouting again, as you see, Bolden has been taken by a team. Looking at cornerback, who we scouted early because I thought was going to be a big position of need for us. Turns out it's not necessarily anymore with that signing of Richard Sherman. We will take Deontay Beekman, though. I did want to come out of this class with depth at cornerback. Looking at our next pick now in the 5th round, we will look at our available players. Tashawn Crosby, who I like a lot, but I still believe that with his projection at a mid-6th round talent, we could still get him later in the class. And of course, we have great running backs now, so I'm leaning towards no on Tashawn Crosby. Here at tackle, I was trying to find the best offensive lineman left, and that, I think, for us is Mitch Brackens, who has good, solid to start run block, not great pass block. We'll see if we can upgrade him anymore. Now we jump later in the 5th round, and Tashawn Crosby is still available. And at what point do you decide, well, I just got to take the best available player? That is Tashawn Crosby. That is who we take. He's a 69 overall, good speed, good break tackle. He's got solid stats across the board. Actually, these stats kind of look like Jamal Williams, just a couple points below his. There's some good stats there, as you see. Jamie Fitzsimmons, who I focused on wanting to get, will get taken by the Chargers. So we will have to look somewhere else to not get Jamie Fitzsimmons. We'll go left tackle now, try to bolster that offensive line, just get some more depth. That's Taven Cofield, who we will sign. We will move. I believe we have just one more pick. Yes, this is the final pick here in the Jags' first draft in this franchise, and you saw Jamie Fitzsimmons was taken. I'm looking here at Imani Higgins. He's a 4th-round talent, undrafted projection, and I think he's a better talent than the rest of the receivers here in this class, so the pick will be Imani Higgins, the 23 overall wide receiver, or 23 is his age, I should say. 23 age receiver from Memphis. He's a 67 overall, and we'll see if he gets any playing time with us in the preseason. Here is a draft recap quickly for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Obviously, Archer Doherty and Darrell Benson should be focal points here in this next season, but you also can't forget about Austin Mackey. I think those 3 have the best chances of playing the majority of the season. Here is the first overall pick in the draft class, Darren Lawton, who is not a hidden development player, but he is a very good player to say the least. Colin Crockett, we also had our eye on, another normal development player. There was a lot of normal development players here early in this class, which was a bit of a surprise. Ben McCord, the first hidden development player, should be a good safety for Washington. Another tackle that is another normal development. Hold him there. Quentin Lindley, who is a tackle I liked, maybe better than the first overall pick. But Quentin Lindley, we'll see what his development is. I want to look at the rest of the quarterbacks in this class, and interestingly enough, Archer Doherty is far and away the best quarterback in this class, and no one that was taken in this year's draft at quarterback had hidden development. We'll see if he will get the starting job over Gardner Minshew, who is very frustrated that the Jacksonville Jaguars have acquired a quarterback in the draft. Defensively this year, we should be better with Darrell Benson, Richard Sherman. I think the defense should be a little better. I don't know how much better. It's not the sweeping changes to the defense that I wanted to make in this offseason. We thank you for watching today's very long episode of the Jacksonville Jaguars rebuild here on Huddle Breakdown. Don't forget to check out the NCAA 12 Flynn Doherty spin-off series that will be connected with this Jacksonville Jaguars rebuild series. Thank you again for watching today's episode. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you around at the next Huddle Breakdown.